Why are these ancient creatures from the deep sea suddenly coming up to the surface? In Japan between January and March 2011, multiple Oarfish sightings were reported near Fukushima and other coastal regions. And then, on March 11, 2011, Japan experienced the most devastating earthquake in its history. The 9.1 magnitude Tohoku earthquake, followed by a 130-foot tsunami that killed over 18,000 people. Because of this, oarfish are still called Doomsday Fish in Japan. You may remember, just a few months ago, California was burning in massive wildfires. But what most people don't remember is what happened just days before that. On November 6th, something extremely unusual was found along the coast of California. A 10-foot-long oarfish, and shortly after this sighting, California was hit by a 7-magnitude earthquake. This was the biggest earthquake to hit Northern California in more than 3 decades. Now take a look at this creature, the Anglerfish, also known as the Black Sea Devil. This terrifying fish normally lives in complete darkness, at depths ranging from 1,000 to 10,000 feet below the ocean's surface. Yet divers recently spotted one floating near the surface, almost dead. Are these sea creatures sensing an upcoming disaster? Is there real science behind this, or is it just superstition? But how do they know? What is the science behind this phenomenon? Let's find out in this video. About 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water. Around 94% of the planet's wildlife lives inside these oceans. But here's the shocking part. Humans have explored and mapped only 5% of the ocean. The remaining 95%, Nakam, especially the deep sea, is still largely unknown. In fact, we have better maps of Mars than we do of the ocean floor. The 12 astronauts have spent a combined 300 hours on the moon, but only 3 people have ever reached the deepest point of the ocean, the Challenger Deep, and they stayed there for just 3 hours. When you stand on a beach and look at the blue ocean, you're only seeing the very top layer. This layer is called the sunlight zone, where sunlight can reach. This is where ocean life is the most colorful and diverse. It's also the only layer where photosynthesis is possible, which is why algae and phytoplankton exist here, the foundation of the marine food chain. Whales, sharks, turtles, and dolphins all live in this zone, but as we go deeper, light begins to disappear, and below 1,000 meters, no sunlight reaches at all. That's why humans find it so difficult to see deeper into the ocean. Just 200 meters below, the next layer begins, the twilight zone, and this is where truly strange creatures begin to appear. Like the strawberry squid, a squid that looks exactly like a strawberry. It has one large eye and one small eye. The large eye looks upward for light from above, while the smaller eye detects bioluminescent signals in the darkness. In its natural twilight zone habitat, it appears almost completely black. It appears black because there is no red color down there. Its natural body color works like perfect camouflage in its environment. If we go slightly deeper than the twilight zone, we encounter the bloody bellycomb jelly. Once again, we see a glowing fluorescent red color. When this jellyfish moves, colorful lights begin to flicker across its body. It looks as if multiple rainbows are flowing through the water at once. Now, a question might come to your mind. If no sunlight reaches this depth, then how are these lights glowing? Behind this lies a fascinating process called bioluminescence. Through bioluminescence, animals can produce their own light. 2 special chemicals are involved in this process: luciferin and luciferase. When these chemicals react with each other, they release light. Take a look at this incredibly beautiful creature. It almost looks like a sea fairy. Its name is the sea angel. It's smaller than a human finger, and in complete darkness, its transparent body glows softly. This creature is completely blind. At depths of 600 to 800 meters lives another extraordinary fish, the barrel eye fish. Its head is transparent and dome-shaped. Look closely. There is no other fish on Earth that looks even remotely like this. At first glance, you might think the black dots near its mouth are its eyes. But in reality, those green glowing bulbs are its actual eyes. The most fascinating thing is that these eyes can only look upward. If we go even deeper, we encounter the terrifying giant squid. These squids can grow up to 13 meters long, as tall as a 2-story building. Their eyes are 25 to 30 centimeters wide, about the size of a basketball. Let's continue deeper. After crossing 1,000 meters, the twilight zone ends, and the midnight zone begins. Here, no sunlight reaches at all. This includes deep-sea anglerfish, like the Black Sea Devil. Anglerfish were first popularized by the movie Finding Nemo. You might remember this animated scene. These fish have a glowing lure on their head, similar to a fishing rod. They use it to attract prey in complete darkness. Going further down, at around 4,000 meters, the midnight zone ends, and the abyssal zone begins. Creatures found here exist nowhere else on Earth. One known inhabitant here is the Dumbo octopus. It's named after its arrowy ear-like fins, which resemble Disney's flying elephant, Dumbo. These octopuses never migrate upward. They spend their entire lives in the deep sea. They are considered some of the cutest deep-sea creatures. They move slowly and gracefully, almost floating, earning them the nickname deep-sea ballerinas. Depths between 6,000 and 11,000 meters are called the Hadal Zone. This is the deepest part of the ocean and remains filled with mysteries. Now, let's return to our main question. Why are deep-sea creatures coming to the surface? During World War II, naval sonar operators made a fascinating discovery. They noticed that during the night, the entire seafloor appeared to rise by hundreds of meters on their sonar screens, but the seafloor wasn't moving. What they were actually seeing was an enormous vertical movement of fish, squid, and plankton rising upward in the water. This phenomenon is called the deep scattering layer. It is the first clue to the ocean's hidden highways, routes where billions and trillions of marine creatures travel every single day. The deep scattering layer is a part of the ocean that reflects sound, which is why it confused sonar operators for so long. It reflects sound because this layer contains an extremely high density of marine life. Scientists have discovered that every single day, from tiny plankton to medium-sized fish, billions of creatures rise toward the ocean's surface and then return back to the depths. This is known as the largest migration on Earth. What's shocking is that this has been happening for centuries, completely hidden from human eyes. Just imagine this: billions of animals whose combined weight is 25 times greater than all of humanity, moving up and down together every single day. This vertical movement is called diel vertical migration. But the big question is, why do these creatures make such a dangerous journey every night? The answer is simple: to eat without being eaten. Photosynthesis only happens near the surface. Phytoplankton exists only in the upper layers of the ocean. These phytoplankton are food for zooplankton and small fish. You might ask, if the food is there, why not come during the day? Because daylight means danger. In sunlight, predators like sharks, whales, and dolphins can easily hunt them. That's why these small fish and deep-sea creatures rise at night, feed under the cover of darkness, and disappear back into the depths before sunrise. But here's the problem. Over the past few years, this story has started to change. Due to climate change, this daily migration is slowly becoming permanent as Earth gets warmer. Deep-sea creatures are moving upward and toward the poles in search of colder environments. You may already know this. Our oceans absorb more than 90% of the excess heat produced by global warming. As more heat gets absorbed, ocean water continues to warm. Temperatures that remained stable for millions of years are now rising. Here's what's happening. Surface water is heating up due to sunlight, but deep water remains cold because sunlight never reaches there. Warm water is lighter and less dense, so it stays on top. Cold water is heavier, so it stays below. This prevents proper mixing between surface and deep water. As a result, oxygen from the surface cannot reach the deep sea. The deep ocean is slowly becoming oxygen deprived. Even a small drop in oxygen can cause massive population declines and create serious extinction risks. Deep-sea creatures evolved in stable, oxygen-rich environments. Now, they are being forced upward in search of oxygen from the deep sea toward surface waters. And this is extremely dangerous for them. They are not evolved to survive near the surface. During the daytime, they can easily become prey to sharks or whales. Scientists estimate that by the end of this century, the temperature of the abyssal zone could rise by 1 degree Celsius. Deep-sea species may migrate 4 to 11 times faster than surface species. The future of these incredible creatures is now at risk. Many species could go extinct forever. The most shocking part, many of these creatures haven't even been discovered yet. Every year, new deep-sea animals are found. Human activity could wipe out species that we may never even get a chance to see. And this isn't just about them. Our own survival is deeply connected to the deep sea. The deep ocean stores massive amounts of carbon. Phytoplankton function like underwater trees. They absorb carbon and transport it into the deep ocean. This process helps regulate carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. But because of climate change, the ocean's ability to absorb carbon dioxide is weakening. And while climate change is a long-term threat, there's another immediate danger created by humans. That danger is deep-sea mining. They want to mine gold and silver near these hydrothermal vents. Some people want this purely for money. Massive machines would be sent thousands of meters deep into the ocean to dig the seafloor. And once that happens, this entire ecosystem will be completely destroyed.